So behind me is the Honda E, but below is the Honda Power Exporter 9000. Now this looks like a big battery, which it is, but it actually does something quite unique. It's actually taking power from the Honda E and it is charging the Power Exporter 9000. Now what does that mean? Well, this device right here is sort of a electric vehicle to sort of a battery storage type of solution here. So imagine in the event of an emergency, being able to take power from your electric vehicle and supplying power to your home via the Honda Power Exporter 9000. Now this is a pretty powerful device. It is intended for an application for Honda fuel cell EV technology that you would find in the Honda Clarity. But in this case right here, you have the Honda E, which has a pretty small battery for what it is. Now, in this case, if you were to fully charge it, it can supply power to the average Japanese home for about 7 days. Now, for Europe and the US, that could potentially mean even more because Japanese homes aren't typically very energy efficient. This device right here has an output of 9 kilowatts. So it is more than enough to charge the average EV, but also given how powerful the batteries are in EVs, it's able to accommodate up to 6 kilowatts via its inverter. So when we talk about taking power from the EV and powering the home, this is a pretty powerful device here. So if we think of sort of a vehicle to grid application, this is more of a vehicle to portable charging station type of application to use to power your home. Now it has 100 volts output and 200 volts of output as well. So it can handle things like smartphones, but also bigger, more power hungry type of devices like refrigerators and TVs and heating systems. So it'll be interesting to see what the future is for this type of device here. This is the first that I've seen something like this, but it's definitely an interesting technology and let's see what happens with it in the future. So here is the Honda Power Pack battery. Now, this battery is being used in an electrified paver. Now, what's really unique about this battery is that it has about 1.3 kilowatts of capacity, weighs 10.6 kilograms. Now, this battery packs quite a lot of power, and also it can be charged at up to 2.5 kilowatts. So it can be charged quite rapidly. So for something out in the field, you can take many of these, get a lot of power out of them, and then be able to swap them out easily when the battery runs low. So behind me is Honda's portable power exchanger. This is designed to charge the Honda portable power packs. Now, this device here can support up to 36 power pack batteries. And what Honda tells me is that it can charge all of the batteries to full, all of the batteries in an exchanger in about 4 hours. Now, how is it able to accomplish that? There is an immense cooling system inside this unit to keep the batteries cool, which allows them to charge optimally and allows Honda to achieve full charge on all the batteries in this exchanger in about 4 hours. So this is especially useful for an operation that operates a lot of battery powered devices. So let's say scooters for delivery operations, or even something that requires power out in the field. So what you can do is pull a battery out of it and then simply replace it. It's very tiny. Okay, we got a little brick. There we go. Wow, tight fit, but that's to be expected for this vehicle. Now, Honda tells me, again, we've got the Honda portable batteries right here. Now, this is a go-kart that's actually piloted by the F1 superstar, Max Verstappen right here. And this is his signature as well. So it is quite an honor to be able to sit in this vehicle. But again, you have two of Honda's portable battery packs right here. So when we talk about even sort of mobility and racing, competition racing, these batteries right here are a really good solution. And also just even how they're distributed on the flanks of the car. So very important for center of gravity, weight balance overall. And then, hey, quick change when you need to keep the action going, get some new batteries in. Looking at Honda's sort of battery exchanger back there, really great solution. Looking forward to see what Honda has as it relates to these solutions. And hey, auto racing, because that's pretty cool too. Okay, this is not as easy as it looks right here. Okay. Oh, wait. I think I'm kind of getting the hang of it. Nice. Okay. Nice. We got it. Not bad, not bad. Okay, very cool. So the point here is, I know I look ridiculous, but this is really important to sort of electrification because we're able to have sort of electrified devices that we can use for simple tasks. And Honda has a whole venue dedicated to how we can use big batteries to perform simple tasks. We've got the Red Bull go-kart right here. We've got the Honda battery exchanger. We're using the Komatsu excavator here. And then there's another device right here. So definitely pay attention to what Honda is doing as it relates to electrified solutions and also e-mobility. And thank you, Honda, for allowing me this opportunity. And I do look ridiculous, but it's so cool. Okay, so here we have the Honda Portable Power Pod. Now, this is a prototype unit, so the specs are still not quite finalized, but it has up to 1,500 watts of output. It also supports 100-volt devices, so things like smartphones, laptop computers, has USB-C ports as well as AC output ports. So for an outdoor solution, something in the field, or an even sort of backup power solution when the power goes out, this is the Honda Power Pod. Now, pricing is not available at the moment, but what I can tell you is that it is using the Honda Power Pack battery that I showed previously, and that battery is going for about $800 US. And so I imagine that something like this will be roughly around that range. And so let's look forward to what Honda has with the Honda Power Pod in the future. So behind me is the 2023 Toyota Prius Z, and it has received a lot of fanfare. It is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, and it has a 13.4 kilowatt battery, which is good for about 87 kilometers of electric-only range or 55 miles. It also has a 2.4 liter internal combustion engine. Now, normally we don't cover plug-in hybrids, but because of the popularity of this vehicle, thought it was worth covering. And hopefully someday, hopefully Toyota, you'll make an all-electric model of the Toyota Prius. Really nice styling, and we're gonna take a look at the interior and see what it's all about. All right, so we're gonna take a look inside the Toyota Prius here that Toyota has on display today. So we're gonna hop in and wow, fantastic. So one of the things you first notice is this very cool driver's display, very simplified, all of the information's in front of you. One of the things that might be a bit of a challenge is the steering wheel position because it does sort of block the line of sight right here. But we're gonna go ahead and adjust that and see if we can't make that look a little bit better for us. So here we go. So yes. So I'm bringing it to its lowest position, and even from my perspective, actually I can see that quite well. And then the wheel sort of raises up to about this point, but at the eye level, I can still see about this much display. So not the most optimal placement, but a very nice display indeed. And you also have the telescoping function with the Prius as well. Now, obviously we talked about the driver display, but you also have this nice infotainment display, and it is very large. And so you can see the map there. You've got the music controls, a little bit laggy on the response. And then you also have right here a suite of apps. Everything's in Japanese, but this would be sort of an example of what you can expect when you have the Toyota Prius. Nicely done are the climate control separate from the infotainment, so it's easy to make adjustments to the Toyota Prius for climate control, and the buttons have a really nice solid feel to them as well. Also, you have here two USB-C ports right here, and you have a 12-volt port, and you have a sort of rubberized pad right here. I believe this is for wireless charging, but there's no indication of that. And then the cup holders. You've got this high-mounted console also with the gear lever shifter. Actually, this pocket right here would be for your wireless charging, so you could stick your phone in there in sort of a horizontal orientation and do your wireless charging. And then you have your drive select modes, EV mode, auto mode, and then obviously hold mode for braking. And here you have storage, and this will not disappoint either. This also has two USB-C ports, so plenty of charging options for occupants of this vehicle. The interior is quite nice up front. You've got this lighting strip up front, and you can change the colors right here. nice sort of quality feel for a vehicle of this class right here. And then also very cool, you've got the digital rear view mirror as well. So very nice vehicle from Toyota. Been really interested in checking out the Prius, even as a plug-in hybrid. Let's take a look inside the Toyota Prius. Been really looking forward to checking this car out right here. So really good capacity and knee room for average height and even taller passengers. And so, yeah, quite spacious in this vehicle with the seat pushed back here. Fairly minimalist. I could kind of see this sort of being a very popular taxi. That's the feel I get with sort of the textures and the colors back here. But it is quite nicely done in the back, and it is quite spacious. You do have an AC outlet in the back right here, if I can get a good look at it. So you have 1500 watt AC port, but I don't see any accommodation for USB or USB-C, which is really interesting. We have a dummy port right here, but I don't see any sort of accommodations for USB or USB-C. Very interesting choice. So here we have the trunk of the Toyota Prius, or boot if you're in the European Union. And yeah, it's a fairly shallow boot area, and the underfloor is the charging cable right here, but the seats do fold down, and as you can see, it's a hatchback style of vehicle right here. Pretty good cargo capacity, but for the type of vehicle it is, it's not meant to carry a lot of cargo. So behind me is a Toyota C-Pod EV. Now, this EV is designed for the Japanese market because of small roads and, in many cases, in urban centers, short driving distances, and even in the countryside. So imagine delivery or even senior type of services. But what's interesting is that this is what's called the D-Broad wireless charging pad. And here is the inverter behind me. And this is a really nice solution to EV charging in Japan, because Japanese homes require parking. It's actually mandated for there to be parking for Japanese homes. And so this is a nice solution when it is space constrained, let's say sort of a multi-family type of, or multi-unit residential property, to be able to have this wireless charging pad. Now, this charging pad charges at 700 watts, so it's quite slow for an EV charger, but it's much faster than a wall charger. However, because the C-Pod is a very small EV with a small battery, this is a really nice unit for charging EVs in a high density area or an area where parking is constrained. The Toyota C-Pod EV behind me, this vehicle has a range of about 60 kilometers or 35 miles. So it's not meant for everyday passenger type of operations, but more for sort of facility type of operations like security or even delivery or assisted type of services, sort of carrying seniors to doctor's visits and so on. Also, because of its limited range and small battery capacity, it allows the C-Pod to be able to be charged quickly so that it can have a sort of full day's cycle of the various services that it's designed to perform. Inside the Honda C-Pod, it has accommodations for 2 passengers and fairly narrow, so it is not meant as a sort of everyday passenger vehicle, but again, for delivery services or assistance type services, this vehicle is a very nice application. Basic controls, basic display, as you can see here, and a modest storage capacity to carry things around. Okay, so that's a wrap for today. You got a chance to see the e-mobility and EV landscape here in Japan. So we saw several EVs, we saw some energy transition solutions related to batteries, and we also saw some e-mobility solutions. But we still see some improvement and some opportunities to grow here in Japan. We didn't see many EVs from the Japanese auto manufacturers, which I've documented on my website. So check it out if you're interested in learning more. But there's also a lot of promise, not only here in Japan, but around the rest of the world. So hopefully you enjoyed what you saw today. We'd like to give a special thanks to Honda as well as Audi for their hospitality. It's been a lot of fun. Volkswagen, we really wish we could have seen the inside of the ID Buzz, hopefully in the next one. Also, we've got a lot more coming on this channel. So if you're interested in what we're doing here, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And also, leave your comments below. Look forward to seeing you in the next one, and thanks for watching.